Hello indie game fans, it's my birthday this week. Stay tuned for the annual birthday video with the fewer than usual number of new releases this week due to the Steam Autumn Sale, so I've scraped together a list of 10, beginning with Timberman The Big Adventure, a classic looking 2D platformer with 2 playable characters and even co-op support, being a spin-off of the arcade reaction timing game Timberman and looks alright. A curious title is Lost Meridian, a roguelite deck builder combined with a CRPG of sorts, in which characters can move and positioning matters. It is not the most polished looking title, but seems to have some interesting ideas, since while it borrows the energy system from Slay the Spire, the positioning part is new, as is the turn meter. I expect there to be plenty of synergies and combos to uncover with the different characters and skills available, and it even has online co-op support, which is nice to see.
I've been at this a long time. When there's a treasure this big, I make it my business to know about it. The coordinates on that data drive, they're for the MK core.
We got a job, Baratnas.
Cox promised us a real payday. He said, give me 3 months, and you never have to work again.
I've heard that before.
Whatever this is, it could still be everything you need to help the belt.
Do we want to invite that kind of attention?
In and out. No games.
Time to see what all the fuss is about.
We also have the Steam release of The Expanse, a Telltale series, an adventure game that is the prequel to the TV series The Expanse, telling a story of a crew of an independent space salvage vessel and their adventures, with all 5 episodes available with this launch, where the 5 chapters were periodically released between July and September 2023 on other platforms.
Just like series, only this time no dolls to keep you on the leash, yeah?
I hope that my actions on this ship can offer some amends for my past.
Whatever this treasure is, the one thing we know is that it will change everything.
So are you going to spend the rest of your oxygen feeling sorry for yourself? Or are you going to get to work?
Here's a neat throwback action platformer in Ninja Issen, set in a cyberpunk city where you play as a ninja. Needless to say, the action looks good, with fast-paced hack-and-slash combat combined with challenging platforming, with the cyberpunk cityscape and features being an alternate take as compared to Edo, Japan. You play as a rogue ninja who has been falsely accused of assassinating the Grand Master of his own clan, now being on the run and attempting to clear his name. There's a fun blink mechanic in which our hero can throw his katana and then teleport to it, utilizing high-tech weaponry and signs which is indistinguishable from ninjutsu to dispatch of your enemies. There are boss fights as well, all with an interesting pixel art look, although they have applied some sort of film green filter to this trailer, but it doesn't appear to be present in screenshots. Just a quick one here in Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, the Lord of Nothing paid DLC, the latest update to the massively popular CRPG using the Pathfinder license, being DLC 5 and the middle of 3 DLCs planned for Season 2, continuing to give the players more. It was interesting to see Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection on the list of new releases, since Limited Run Games has compiled 7 games from the 8 and 16-bit era, and while I'm not familiar with all of them, the Sega Genesis game is something that I remember, since you could play as a Velociraptor in that and is in this collection as well. Despite a smaller week, there are still awesome indie games releasing, such as Valfaris Mecha Therion, the next game from the developer of the heavy metal action platformer Valfaris, and is, strangely, a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up of all things. I remember asking myself if this was an April Fool's joke when it was first revealed, since it is just such a wild left turn from the earlier 2 titles, Valfaris and the gothic fantasy title Slain Back from Hell, and even takes it into 2.5D and abandoned the gorgeous pixel art. However, I do like shoot-'em-ups, although I don't know what the crossover would be with people who like side-scrolling platformers, so who knows, it's the wild card of the week. Here's another title that uses a monochrome color palette for some reason, which is difficult to pull off, but I hope in Stars and Time we'll manage to find an audience since it looks like an interesting game. This is a turn-based RPG in the style of games like Earthbound, but with a time loop twist. Our heroes are attempting to stop an evil king, but when they get close, tragedy strikes and the loop starts over, with the protagonist being the only one who notices, which affects his demeanor from loop to loop, with this certainly having Undertale vibes and is the hidden gem of the week. There are quite a number of RPGs this week, with the minimalist and stylish Worldless being another such title. This combines turn-based combat with platforming and looks sleek, although I don't know how challenging the platforming would be and if there are any penalties for falling into pits, for example. But I suppose it might be an Indivisible-like game in that sense, but it sure is pretty and should be neat. Speaking of Undertale likes, here's another wild and weird RPG named Knuckle Sandwich, which I've had my eye on for the longest of time, having such a variety in characters, locations, enemies, combat mechanics and more, and just as the weirdest world to explore. You play as a young man who moves to Bright City, having to find a job and to make friends while trying to solve a mystery that involves a gang and a cult. Apparently there are over 100 minigames in combat, depending on which enemy you face and which playable characters you use, with the offbeat story and humour possibly being the highlight, and is a cannot miss with more of the best RPGs in this video.